Hi guys, it's Lauren here, and I just want to say a massive hello and welcome to Upmo Connect. It's lovely to be speaking to you guys, and I hope you're all well and being as awesome and amazing as you always are at home. So today, what I thought I might talk to you about is the different collection of musical instruments that I've got in my house. Now, I've been collecting different instruments since I was a wee girl, and I have lots of different types that I thought some of you might like to see. I know a lot of you guys are really into your music, some of you are super duper talented, and yeah, I just thought it might be cool to see what some of us project workers have got going on in our homes when it comes to music. So the first instrument that I ever got, and it's the first instrument that a lot of people get, was the recorder. So the recorder is a wind instrument that you blow into. It's usually made of plastic. You do get some ones made of wood as well, but most people start off with one made of plastic. Now it has on the front 6 main holes there, and then some smaller holes at the bottom, and then it's got one hole at the back there as well. Now how you play the recorder is you obviously blow into this hole at the top, and you can move your fingers on the holes to make different notes. The more fingers you have down, the lower the note is going to be as a general rule. So if we do this with 6 fingers down, that's a nice low note. If we just lift up all of our fingers except for one at the top, that's going to be much higher. So yeah, this was the first instrument I ever got, and after I got this, I started collecting different types of pipes that are quite similar to this in kind of structure from all over the world. I have a few different ones here to show you. So this one here is a wee pipe made from wood. You can see it's painted with really beautiful patterns in gold and blue and white, and it just has 6 holes on the front. So this one sounds a bit different. They all sound a wee bit different to each other. I'll just give you a wee note on it just to show you the difference between this and the last one. So that one's got quite a nice clear sound, and it's a really pretty one. That is one of my favourite pipes that I have. Just hit myself in the nose with it. Oh dear, you're not my favourite anymore, pipe. So I'm just going to pop him down there so he doesn't get me on the nose again, and we're going to look at the next one. So this one again is quite similar. Again, it's a really beautiful one. It's painted wood with a kind of black top, and again it's got the 6 holes on the front. These ones are a wee bit closer together, as you can see, so it's a bit different, and it's also a wee bit thinner than the other pipe, so it's going to sound a little bit different. I'm just going to give this one a wee blow too and see what it sounds like. Ooh, it's a bit tricky, this one. Okay, interesting. So this one sounds a wee bit more woody. The notes aren't as spread out when you go up it, but again, low notes with more fingers down, and high notes with less fingers down. I wasn't sure what some of these were going to sound like myself because I haven't played them in years, so this is a fun way to work it out for me too. Okay, so those two are quite similar to each other. We do have some that are a wee bit different. So just here, I have a lovely red and black striped pipe that has some kind of wood bit sort of carved into there, if you can see. And this one, again, has 6 holes on the front. But you can see this one, it doesn't have the bit that you blow into on the top, like this one does, and even the recorder. So where do you blow on this? If you can see here, there's just a wee hole on that flat top, and that is where you blow into on this one to make a noise. So, like that. It kind of sounds very sort of woodlandy again, and it's a nice wee pipe. It's very pretty to look at. So another one that's a wee bit similar to that is this one here. This one's quite interesting because you can see there's no hole at all at the top. You've got this hole here, but there's nowhere to blow. If you blow into that hole, nothing happens except you look a bit silly. It doesn't make any noise at all. Still nothing. So what you have to do with this one is get this wee circle here of reed and pop that on the top, just like that. And what that makes is a little tiny hole just here that you can blow into to make a noise. Okay, so let's have a go at that. Cool, so that one's a wee bit different again, but it's a nice sound, and it's quite a nice natural wood effect on this one, just varnished wood, so not painted like the other ones. So we just have a few more of these pipes, and then we're going to move on to something a bit different. So this one here is a bit of a funny one. Now, I'm just going to let you guys know that it might be quite noisy. Some of these instruments that I'm going to play later on as well are going to be a wee bit louder than the ones I've been playing so far, and they might make some quite funny noises. So just to let you know, if you're not really wanting to listen to anything too loud just now, or you're just wanting to be nice and chill, maybe not the time to be watching this part of the video, or just to warn you that that might happen, so you won't be super surprised when you hear a big funny noise. Okay, so this pipe here, what we have is, as you can see, it's a beautiful painted wooden pipe, but there are no holes on it except for the hole that you blow into, so there's no holes to make notes. What there is this kind of stick thing, and you can kind of hear just now without me even playing it that it makes different notes just by pulling it in and out. So when you play this, it's going to be quite funny. It makes this sort of noise. Which is, yeah, very interesting. Quite different to the others. I'm not sure how easy it would be to play a tune on here. I'd like to see someone do it. It would be very impressive. But it's a nice wee pipe to have, even though maybe not one that my flatmates would enjoy me playing too often. So I'm just going to put that one aside. And the last pipes that we have are 2 tin whistles. Now, these are often known as penny whistles or tin whistles, and they are made from tin, surprisingly. So they have been a big thing in the UK for a long time, tin whistles, in Ireland particularly, penny whistles like this, and yeah, they sound quite nice. I'm just going to play this one for you. This one is a wee bit out of tune, but it's a lovely wee thing. Give it a wee blow. So that one sounds like that, and this one here is probably one of the best kind of made pipes that I have, so it sounds like this. So that is quite a nice one, and one that I play sometimes a bit more often than some of the others. Okay, so that is all of my ordinary pipes, and I just have one more other kind of pipe to show you, and that is called, it's very different to all the others, it is the pan pipe. So as you can see here, this is totally different to all the other pipes. There's no holes, there's just a flat top that you blow across, and it's got lots of different pipes that all make different notes. This one is a bit tricky to play, so I'll give it a try, but don't laugh at me too much if it doesn't sound so great. So you can play like one tube at a time, like this. Cool. Or you can try and play lots of different notes all at the same time. Kind of like that, and it sounds quite mystical and magical when you do it well. So yeah, that's a fun one as well, and you can see it's bound together here, all the different pipes, with a nice wee bit of woven patterned fabric. It's quite an interesting pipe, that. So we just have a few more wind instruments, and this one is a wee bit more advanced. So after I started playing the pipe instruments, like all the little wooden pipes and the recorder, I decided to get a flute, and I got this when I was 7 years old. So this is a bit more fancy and advanced. So this is a flute, okay? So flutes are usually made from metal. You do get some really beautiful wooden flutes, but they tend to be made from pewter, nickel, or in some cases of very fancy flutes, solid silver, although this one definitely isn't. So it has lots of different keys, as you can see, and it's quite long, and you make a noise in it by blowing over the top. You can't blow like this. Again, that's not going to make a noise, so you have to blow like this over the top. Now, if any of you guys have ever made a note on by playing a bottle, by blowing over the top of a glass bottle, like a Coke bottle or something, and it comes out with that nice noise, that is quite similar to how you play the flute. So you've already started learning, which is cool. So with the flute, you lift it up quite high, and you have the same thing where the more fingers you have down, the lower the note is going to be. So that's 6 fingers, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So just to give you a sound, like, go of what it sounds like. So it's a pretty cool instrument, and it also comes apart into different pieces to store it. So it comes apart like that, bottom bit, that, top bit, and it's stored in its case in sections. Okay, so just putting all those down. The next instrument that I have here is the harmonica. Now this instrument is often used in blues and jazz and folk music. It's really cool when it's played properly. It's not something that I really know how to play that well, but it makes a really groovy sound anyway. So it's kind of like this. Not quite Bob Dylan, but I gave it a go. And that's a really fun one. Again, that's a wind instrument, so all of these instruments have been in the same family of instruments, which is wind instruments. I just have one more wind instrument to show you, and that is the ocarina. So if any of you guys have ever played the game Zelda, that is what is played in that game. It is a clay pipe usually. It has between 4 and 12 holes generally. This is a 6-hole ocarina, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You blow it into this bit at the top, and it's quite a nice mellow sound. So I always think it's a really peaceful sound. It sounds like a lullaby, like it's going to make you fall asleep, really nice and softly, and it's a really lovely instrument. So it's quite heavy because it is usually made from ceramics or clay. You do get them occasionally made from other things, but it tends to be made from clay or ceramics. And that is all of my wind instruments. So after this, we're going to move on to some string instruments. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is a string instrument, and it is one that you probably all know very well. It is the guitar. So this is an acoustic guitar. It's actually not a full-sized one. It's just a 3/4 size one because I've got quite small hands and it's a bit easier for me to play. So it has 6 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And lots of different frets, and you press on this in different places to make different notes. Now with the guitar, you can either play notes just one at a time, or you can play them all at the same time to make a chord. Like that. Now you can change the tone of the note, say if it's gone a bit wrong, it's not quite in tune anymore, by turning these wee knobs at the end here. See? So I'm playing the same note, but because I'm moving that, it's changing the tone of it. Okay, so yeah, guitar. And lots of people at Upmo I know can play this. It's something that you guys have done in rock band and stuff like that as well. So, and I know that we have some real experts at Upmo, both in the staff and in students as well. So that is the guitar. Now, another instrument that I have that is in the same family as the guitar but is a wee bit different is the violin. Now, just to warn you guys, I am not so good at playing this one. I only just got it a few months ago, and it's quite tricky to play, so it might be a wee bit squeaky. So this is another one to cover your ears if you're not a fan of loud noises, because it might sound a bit like your cat is screaming at someone when I play this. So just to show you what it looks like, a violin is much smaller than a guitar. It's a very pretty little thing, and it only has 4 strings. It has this bit here is a chin rest, so you rest it like this. And a big difference with it is that it isn't played with your fingers. It can be, but usually it is played with what is called a bow. And that is a piece of wood, and it has here strung across it horsehair. And that is what makes the noise when you string that across the strings. It creates tension and makes a noise. So I'm gonna give it a go. Again, be warned, it might be squeaky. So there was the squeaky bit at the end there, but we kind of got through it without too much squeaking, which is good. And it just goes back in its case down there. So that is another really interesting instrument that I have that I'm hoping to learn to play in the future. So there is another instrument that I got quite recently. I just got this one about a month ago, and I've been trying to learn it over the last few weeks. And it is a keyboard or an electric piano. So I'm just going to tilt this down to show you because it's quite big. So it goes all the way from there to there. So it's quite a long one. And as you can see, I'll just tilt it down a wee bit more. We've got all the keys here. It's a wee bit dark, but you can kind of see what's going on. So with the keyboard or the electric piano, I know it's another one that some of you guys will have played at UPMO, and you can play single notes, so, or you can play chords by playing all of these 3 notes together. So it's a lovely instrument. It's a really fun one to play around with. You can do so many different things with it. So and the fun thing about this particular keyboard or electric piano, which it's technically called, is it has different instruments and stuff on it. So you can press this button here and you can make it sound like a different instrument. Woo! Which is quite fun. Or you can make it sound like an organ. So that is quite a noisy one, but it's super fun to play with. And you can also make it sound kind of like the violin we just had. So that's what the violin is supposed to sound like according to this. So yeah, that's a really fun one too, and I'm super glad I bought it. I just have one more instrument to show you, and this one is one that I actually just found in the loft of my mum's house not so long ago, and it's pretty cool, but it is quite old. So I'm just going to grab that for you and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you, so the last instrument I have is an accordion. So it's quite big and it's quite heavy. It's quite hard for me to lift up, so I'm just going to move back a wee bit so you can see the instrument a bit more clearly. So what we have here are some keys, and then you've got this lovely metal grill here, and on the other side we have some buttons. So this bit in the centre that's all crinkled up just now is called the bellows. So what you have to do to open the bellows is press this button here and open it up, and they fill with air. And so what it basically is 2 wee boxes, one with keys and one with buttons, either side of a squeezy box bit, and that's why sometimes it is known as a squeeze box. So to play the accordion, what you have to do is press either these buttons or these keys to make a noise and push the bellows back together. It's very noisy, so just to warn you to cover your ears if you're not a big fan of loud noises just now. you can also play, that's just pressing these chord buttons here, and you can also play it by pressing these buttons too. So you can see that adds an extra wee high note to it. So unfortunately this accordion has quite a few holes in the bellow, so it's not in great condition, so it doesn't play quite as clearly as some of them do, but they are beautiful instruments. They're really gorgeous to look at. Just that bit of metalwork at the top is so pretty, and I'm really pleased that I found it. There's other instruments in the accordion or squeeze box family, like the concertina, and they tend to be played in folk music and are just really cool and funky and awesome. So I love this, and hopefully one day I will be able to learn to play that one really well too. So that is all the instruments that I've got to show you guys just now. I hope you found it interesting and maybe learned something. And maybe you were inspired to one day try some of these instruments yourself. So it's been lovely to chat to you, and hopefully I'll see you on another video very soon.